when you get locked in your house every day, like you can't even have like any time to go outside at all. Like it would be a big project for me to go outside because they put ladders in front of my garage too. Like I was thinking maybe like I could go out through the garage and like walk around the neighborhood and shit, but they're constantly putting ladders in front of my garage too to get up on the roof. So I would have to like interrupt their work every time I wanted to go outside, right? But what I'm hearing, okay, so it's cold right now. Obviously it's cold. I can hear my downstairs neighbors are playing in their backyard too. Like they're in the same place as me, you know? They're getting ladders in front of their garage. They're getting their entryways blocked as well. And we can't go out we can't use our outdoor space at all during the day. So we get a couple hours of sunlight because we also have to shut our blinds and everything so that we don't have workers looking in at us all day. And I will grant that the workers have been trying to be respectful. Like when I did have my blinds open, it looked like he was purposely avoiding looking in the window. And so I give you kudos for that. Like they are trying to be respectful, but it's an awkward situation for them. It's an awkward situation for us. It's just awkward, and it's been going on for so long. And I just looked before the sun set and we first got to come outside. I did like look over at the front banister. They're not done with that yet. They haven't painted the front banister yet. They haven't done my door yet. They haven't replaced light fixtures yet. We just went through 3 days of painting. And we had the power wash Wednesday before Thanksgiving. So this has been going on for a week. And we're not done. We're not even close to done. I can't put up my Christmas lights. I'm definitely not going to do a full decoration this year. I think I'm just going to do this one balcony that I like to sit on. Because it's an effort. And last year I got fined because I didn't take my lights down fast enough. I got fined for having them up too long. So here we are. I was just going through my Twitter feed and looking back. I don't use Twitter all that much. I don't use Twitter a lot. Because I haven't really, I don't have a big following over there, and I get interaction occasionally. Like I had some interaction with Paula Jean Swearingen and Seema from Texas, Miss Seema. Had some interaction with them today, but I was just like kind of going through my my more recent tweets about like what happened over the last weekend with like seeing the MAGA clearance sale and the spike in the Orange County numbers. We still have a bunch of MAGA people who are like gaslighting us and trying to pretend that we don't have crowded restaurants with anti-maskers in Orange County, which we totally do. Just the nonsense that happens in Orange County, but not only Orange County, across the nation and stuff. And so I scrolled back as far back as like Thanksgiving. I was looking at Thanksgiving, and that's right around the time that Pat and I got Pat Cote, and I got into a little beef because I'm like, look, you are now working for the Movement for the People's Party. You are convinced that you're trying to convince people to give up their seat at the table and join a fundraising scam that has absolutely no infrastructure. All you guys are trying to do basically is take over Our Revolution chapters, that's totally nothing. That's nothing. You don't have anything. Are you guys phone banking? Are you text banking? Or what are you doing to actually promote candidates? You have no candidates. Okay, so we went into this little beef, and I guess he must be like a paid pundit or something, because he's really dedicated to this. He's really dedicated to this entire nonsense that it is nonsense. He legit blocked me over this stuff. But what's funny is, and I did a live stream about this, I think last night, about how my former project partner started like retweeting people that I've been having beefs with lately, that I've been having disagreements with. And a friend of mine told me that he's done this before. Like, I don't pay attention to him enough to actually know how often he does this, but he definitely was doing it yesterday. He was retweeting Pat, he was retweeting Walker Bragman. But I don't have a beef with Tim Black at all. In fact, I was praising him yesterday. But he was definitely like following my Twitter, either my Twitter or my Facebook, because I do a lot of dual messaging. I do it on both platforms, but sometimes I put down different subjects on Twitter than I do on Facebook. But I generally talk about mostly the same stuff. But the irony of it is, so I went back through my tweets to Thanksgiving, and what I realized is that when I got into that scuffle with Pat, and we were kind of going back and forth on his MPP shit, and I was telling him that he was being disproportionately negative towards the left while promoting something that helped the GOP, my former project partner's name came up, and I was getting fucking harassed on Twitter for being a follower because I worked with him in 2018. So the irony, Don, that you would be retweeting Pat at this point when obviously he and his follower base really don't like you. I don't know what goes through your head that you know what? I'll drop another truth. So I used to take Don to all sorts of meetings and stuff, and every time he would meet somebody new who was already a part of my acquaintance, he would walk away from the interaction and say, that person loved me. They loved me. They were so impressed by me. No, they actually weren't. In fact, many times I got phone calls later. Lots of times I got phone calls later expressing that you were untrustworthy. So that is absolutely not true. He did that at like the PDA meeting I brought him to. He's like, they loved me. And I'm like, oh, okay. He did that when we had our We Want Bernie. I got him in. I fucking got him in, dude. I was contacted by Mike Fox with PDA and asked to become the We Want Bernie team lead before Bernie's he had even announced that he was going to run for president, and he hadn't gotten his organizing network up at all. But PDA was doing this recruitment campaign of we're going to find the Bernie supporters, and we're going to sign them up to Bernie's volunteer base. That's what we did, is we would encourage people to actually sign up to be volunteers, and that was our entire campaign, was just finding them, getting them to sign up to be volunteers. I got Don in on that, and I gave him the stage. Like, I legit did all the logistics behind the event. I promoted it. He wasn't even fucking advertising it, but I gave him the platform to stand in front of the audience and do. There was an actual script, and he threw out the script and did his own shit. It worked, whatever, it was fine, but it wasn't the script that we had. I paid for a ton of food so that people would have things to eat, so that the restaurant would let us use their space. And I let him take all that food home to him and his wife. Such a fucking scammer. And when we walk away from this interaction, and he's like, everybody loved me. Everybody loved me. No, I legit got a call from one of my mentors later that day who's like, I just don't trust him. He seems like he's scamming me. I legit got a phone call that fucking day. I used to get calls like that all the goddamn time. Clean up your goddamn act. So anyway, there's a lot of people who are not very self-perceptive, right? They don't know, they don't really, they have a hard time understanding how they're perceived. And I'm not saying that I am either. I realize that I have a lot of haters. I do have a lot of haters in the world. But I do try and understand who hates me and why they hate me, and that helps me like address the situation. Like, for instance, if you hate me because somebody else hates me, that's an illegitimate reason. That's mob mentality. Like, if you have had a personal beef with me personally, then at least I can have a conversation with you and like work it out. Like, we can come to the table and talk about things. But if you are like a zealot out there hating me because you just know somebody who had a problem with me, there's no working with that. There's no working with that. And it just establishes that you're weak-minded. You're a follower. You're a follower. I have so much to say because I'm finally getting some fucking fresh air. Yeah, I do like to drop my F-bombs. But yeah, I can hear my downstairs neighbors too. It's fucking cold, y'all. They're playing like some sort of like dice game down there. Or I don't think it's dice. It's like something with like clicky chips. Something that clinks. Almost like dominoes, but it's different. It's some sort of, they have some sort of like domino game down there. I can hear it. How are you guys doing? I can see Roland is saying, okay, so we have Roland and Doug and Barbara. How are you guys all doing tonight? I try, Doug. I have a playlist. If you want to follow my playlist, I have a playlist on Spotify. I can drop you the link. I call it the best goddamn radio ever. I've been adding songs to it for like a decade, but I actually was taking a look at my Spotify playlist today. It looks like a lot of music got darked out. This happened years ago. I noticed the first time I saw this happen was when Prince had a beef with Spotify and other streaming services, and he revoked their permission to play any of his music. And so the songs still were on the playlist, but they were darked out. They were like faded so that they wouldn't actually play. And then when he passed, his family gave all those streaming services permission to play his music again, and they lit back up. And now they play on my playlist again. But I've noticed there's a lot of stuff I've added over the years that got darked out. Some local bands, I think even some like of the Police, Sting and the Police type stuff. There's a lot that got darkened out. So I don't know if they're like disputing their music being played on Spotify, or if it's ever going to come back, or what. Oh, it smells like they're grilling downstairs. I think they're grilling steaks, y'all. I still have Thanksgiving leftovers. All right, I'm gonna let you go because I've touched on a lot of subjects, and so I've given you a lot to comment about. And apparently people are eating dinner, so maybe you'll come back to this one and like watch it and give me your comments. Talk to me. Thanks for jumping in and giving me some comments, Doug. Take care.